Look at this solitary figure inside an isolated Himalayan cave. This seeker has mastered the mind, conquered the senses, and fully retreated from worldly noise. Through decades of severe discipline, they achieved a state of supreme insight known as Viveka. Yet despite this profound clarity, absolute freedom still eludes them. There is a hidden trap at this extreme edge of practice. The accumulation of deep esoteric knowledge, the acquisition of occult powers, and pursuit of intense spiritual highs can slowly curdle into a subtle, ego-driven form of worldly enjoyment. As long as the seeker is trying to acquire more spiritual power or a deeper experience, they remain tangled in their own achievements. They have merely traded a crude material prison for a highly refined spiritual one. This reveals the ultimate irony of the yogic path. The absolute hardest obstacle to overcome is the desire for ultimate freedom itself. Swami Vivekananda observed that possessing occult powers only intensifies the world. Ultimately, seeking these experiences intensifies suffering rather than freeing the soul. The ancient text addresses this directly in Sutra 4.29. It outlines a threshold of supreme dispassion, a state where a yogi loses all interest even in the highest states of omniscience. To cross this final threshold, the yogi must actively stop grasping for the divine. True liberation demands a terrifying surrender. The seeker must abandon the very goal they have spent their entire life striving to achieve. They must drop the search to finally be found. When the mind finally unclenches from this spiritual ambition, the internal tension of the cave gives way to a vast, effortless scale. This flowchart maps the progression of yogic absorption. Near the top is Dharma Mega Samadhi, which descends when grasping ceases. Looking closely at the Dharma Mega box, it acts as a torrential downpour of pure virtue, washing away the deepest psychological afflictions. This profound state destroys the root causes of past actions, known as karma. Those past actions are rendered into burned seeds, completely incapable of sprouting new suffering. As noted in this commentary text outlining the Dharmamega state, once this happens, the entirety of a knowable universe suddenly seems trivial. It is finite and limited compared to the newly uncovered infinite nature of pure consciousness. This cloud is not a badge of honor. It is not an achievement to be claimed by the ego. It is a natural, autonomous cleansing process that prepares the soul for total separation from the material world. To understand how this separation works, we have to zoom out to the cosmic scale of classical yoga and observe the two foundational forces, the material world, known as Prakriti, and the conscious spirit, known as Purusha. The material world is not a trap designed to capture the spirit. It is a teacher. Its complex attributes, or gunas, represented here by the active outer shapes, only dance and rotate to educate the still, silent soul in the center. Once the soul achieves perfect, detached awareness, the educational purpose of those material attributes is completely fulfilled. At that point, the gunas cease their endless transformations, reabsorbing into an unmanifest, dormant state known as cosmic dissolution. Without the movement of the material world to measure change, time itself collapses. The illusion of chronological moments flowing sequentially permanently stops for the mind. When nature sees that the soul no longer needs its lessons, it gracefully shuts down its operations. The universe was always a temporary classroom, never a permanent prison. So, what exactly remains when the material world, time, and the spinning of the mind stop? This ancient Sanskrit manuscript provides Patanjali's final answer, Kaivalya, the absolute isolation or aloneness of the spirit. This isolation is often misunderstood. It is not annihilation. It is not the destruction of the self, nor is it a void of empty nothingness. As the final paragraph of this commentary text explains, Kaivalya is complete. It is simply pure consciousness resting entirely in its own true, radiant, and unchanging form, finally and completely separated from the mind. In yoga, enlightenment is essentially a process of subtraction. It is the systematic stripping away of everything that is not the true self, until only pure awareness remains. Bringing this ancient cosmology to modern reality, true peace cannot be built by accumulating more identities. We cannot stack enough wellness hacks, mindfulness techniques, or personality traits to reach liberation. Profound peace is uncovered exclusively through the terrifying, liberating act of letting go of our attachments to outcomes. Releasing the final veil of the ego is like breaking through a heavy layer of fog and merging into boundless, unburdened awareness. Absolute liberation is not a state to be acquired. It is the ultimate freedom that reveals itself when the soul releases its final attachment, even the desire for enlightenment itself, allowing the material world to gently fall away and the spirit to rest entirely in its own unchanging awareness.